The Manaslu Circuit and Tsum Valley Trek in 12 days in the fall of 2019. Our trek starts in Soti Khola in Gorkha, a 7-hour drive from Kathmandu. It's lush and humid at only 720 meters, and there's water falling from every cliff around us. We start our hike on the morning of September 30th, heading up and out of Soti Khola north along the Budi Gandaki River. Soti Khola was also the end of the road, so we won't see another car or vehicle for the entire circuit. It's the tail end of monsoon season, which explains all the water everywhere, and a fair bit of cloud cover, but that starts to clear as we continue our journey. We get to Machakola by noon, where we have a quick lunch before continuing on. We quickly pass by a landslide area and on to the next little town of Tatopani. And around 7 hours and 24 kilometers later, we reach Doban, where we'll stay that night. It's a small village surrounded by tons and tons of waterfalls, and there's a local volleyball game going on behind our guest house. The next day, we wake up, eat breakfast, and head out for our second day of hiking. Up above Dovan, the river valley has widened with beautiful sweeping views of the mountains and clouds ahead. We reach the small village of Yarufant, which is just a narrow walkway of stone lined with little shops and homes on either side. We stop for some eggs with a beautiful view overlooking the river valley below. We continue north along the east side of the river. You can tell the vegetation has changed since we started, less tropical, and we're starting to see some pine trees. We reach Jagat and we are now officially in the Manaslu conservation area. We stop at the checkpost, eat some lunch, and, well, rest a little bit. And then continue on. The trail becomes a little narrow in some places, and we even see a woman carrying an entire refrigerator. At around 2:30 p.m., we reach up to Philim, our destination for the day, at 1,548 meters, and after 14 kilometers, we're ready for rest, a hot shower, and a big plate of potatoes. Day 3, and we're up and continuing our way north out of Philim. We reach the junction point where you turn to go up to Tsum Valley. So we turn right where we'll start making our way northeast up through Tsum Valley. And then, shortly ahead, we're walking along the edge of a narrow, muddy trail when the ground starts to crumble away beneath Kadak, who is walking just behind me. I whip around to see him slipping down with the mud and rocks. He manages to turn himself over to face forward, and I dive forward, grab the straps of his backpack, hold on, and try to drag myself backwards through the mud, away from the crumbling earth. Luckily, Ralph and Ratna hear my call and run back to help pull me and Kadak onto stable ground. We're completely okay, but because we're a bit shooken up and covered in mud, we decide to stop early that day in the village of Lokpa that we reached just ahead. Later, we go back to investigate the scene. We're already feeling happy and laughing at what could have been a much more serious event, but since we're okay, we're just grateful and already joking about it. Day 4, and we're up and out of Lokpa and on our way once again. After hugging the southeast side of the valley for some time, we spot our next destination, Chumling, across the way. We just have to go down back to the river and then back up the other side to get to the northwest side of the valley to Chumling, where we have lunch. And as always, if there's a spot to lie down, Kadak will take advantage. Lots of vibrant yellow and pink amaranth or latte plants growing along the trail as we pass through Go, where we part ways with our partners Ratna and Ralph and make our way steep uphill into the mist and into the village of Chekumpad at 3,100 meters. A small older man points us to Bio Hotel, where we meet his daughter-in-law, our very favorite Karma, who takes care of us and makes us dinner that night.
Dito in the making.
Oh, that's Dito.
Dito in the making.
In a nice kitchen.
Nice kitchen, yeah.
And Karma. Making the Dito.
And we enjoyed Karma's delicious dinner before a good sleep. And the next day we awoke to a beautiful morning and a day of exploring up Tsum Valley with no backpacks. Tsum Valley is said to be one of the Himalayas' most secluded hidden valleys, a secret Tibetan Buddhist land only open to visitors 12 years ago. Having once been a part of Tibet and not far from today's Tibetan border, the people of Tsum Valley, the Tsumbas, are nearly all of Tibetan origin, with their own ancient form of dialect, art, culture, and religion.
Namaste from Niralapa Caves in Tsum Valley. Northwest of the valley.
And there's the first cave. They gave us the key. The Buddhist saint and philosopher Milarepa is said to have meditated in these caves in the 11th century. He even somehow left his footprint in the cave. Up a bit further, as we cross the bridge into the next village, we catch a glimpse of some musk deer. As we enter Purubey, we are greeted by a nice older woman who invites us in for some tea and some snacks left over from a little party they had the night before. Many of the wide-open croplands are being plowed by the local farmers. They've harvested potatoes and now they're preparing for the next crop, probably barley. In the next village of Pangdun, we find a large prayer wheel. We come to the last village where we'll be walking that day, Nile. We trail closely behind a local woman with her spool of wool. And then come across some more women ahead who are separating their buckwheat grains from the husks. After lunch in Nile, we're heading back down the valley. With, of course, some time to rest along the way as usual. We make a stop in the Rachen Gompa monastery along the way as well, and then happen upon the opening day of the Tsum monastery in Lamagaon. And hang around long enough to be offered some butter tea, or shuchia. Then we continue on our way out of Lamagaon back down the valley. And back to Karma's warm kitchen for an evening of tea and tukpa soup. We wake up to another beautiful morning on our 6th day. It's time to say goodbye to Tsum Valley and retrace our steps. Back through the amaranth fields of Go, the millet fields ahead, back through Chumling, and back to Lokpa for a good old nap. Day 7, it's time to head out again. We say goodbye to our kind host and her adorable daughters, who we had met the first time we were staying here a few days before.
Hey! Tsum Valley is done. It's ticked. We finished Tsum Valley. This is the way to Tsum Valley, and then we are back on the trail to Manaslu circuit. There we go. Tran.
And we're back alongside the Budi Gandaki River, heading northwest. A tea break in Pewa. A second tea break in Deng. A beautiful warm day on the trail. A stop for lunch in Bihi Fedi, and someone giving a shout out to my mom. And 14 miles later, at around 3 p.m., we finally roll into Gap at 2,069 meters. We find and settle into our home for the night, get hot showers before the rest of the crowds arrive, and celebrate the first night of Desai! Day 8, we wake up to a family of monkeys playing on the ridge across the river. And then we're back on the trail again. And then we arrived to the village of Namrung and to one of the neatest, most colorful little guest house we've ever seen. Wow. They even have a little bakery, and we order lattes and an apple pie. Then we come to one of the most breathtaking spots of the entire trek, fields and fields of barley. We stop and leave for a lunch break, and then on to more beautiful fields of barley ahead. And then we spot our destination, Lo, just ahead. We check out the quiet monastery up on the hill above the village. And then settle into our guest house for the evening. This is a day on the Manaslu circuit in Nepal with Stephanie and Kadak. And we've just woken up. It's how early?
It's 6 a.m.
6 a.m. 6 a.m. And we've got a beautiful view out our window, if you could see. So we're going to repack our bags and get dressed, and then we're gonna go get some breakfast and get ready to go. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. And now we're having our champa breakfast.
For breakfast.
Okay, now we're heading out. Leaving the guest house in Lo and headed for Shala, then Sama, Samagar, or maybe we'll continue on to Samdo.
Hello everyone. Now we are on the way to Samdo. First we
Still sunny and beautiful, so let's go.
let's go this way.
Namaste. Oh, and happy Dasein. It is day 3 of Dasein. So what happens today?
Tika.
Tika.
Taking blessing from the elders.
And then we arrive in Samagaon.
Samagon. It's Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum.
After lunch in Samagon, we make a side trip to Birendra Tal, a glacial lake just below Manaslu Base Camp. Passing through yak grazing grounds, we continue the 7 kilometers or so ahead to Samdo. Climbing one final steep hill, we make it into Samdo at about 3,800 meters in altitude.
Okay, we made it to Samdo. We're a little tired. And be warm and inside for the rest of the day. And drink lots of tea and eat lots of food.
Yep.
Okay,
Bye for now.
bye.
Namaste.
Good morning
Good
from
morning
Samdo.
From Samdo. Look at this. Can you see? 360.
Big review of mountain.
Lots of mountains. There's Manaslu, that little peak. You excited?
Yeah.
And we head out of Samdo on this chilly, clear morning to make our short hike to Dharamsala.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Good. It's beautiful and clear.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly, but
Look at the sky. It's so clear.
lots of
And the
mountain views in all
mountains all
directions.
around.
Oh, we're about to see another one over there.
Yeah.
We take our time as we make our way up and west, with mountains surrounding us on literally every side. Just 2.5 hours later, we arrive in Dharamsala at 4,480 meters in altitude. We spend the rest of the day eating, resting, playing cards, people watching, and getting ready for the pass tomorrow. We wake up well before the sun to start walking. A sky full of stars soon turns into silhouettes of the mountains. And it's so quiet.
So this is what it looks like from on the way to Larke. Nice view of mountains. Manaslu is blocked by these mountains, by these small mountains.
So far, it's
How are you
going
feeling?
amazingly. I can't believe we woke up to such clear skies,
Mhm.
complete stars. Now it's just complete blue, surrounded by mountains. It's just been a gradual up, so it hasn't even been too intense.
Perfect.
It's lovely, lovely hiking partner.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And then we make it to our highest point of the trek, Larke Pass, at 5,106 meters. And then we're headed down the other side, where I fall on my butt at least 20 times in the slick, snowy surface. So grateful when we're back on non-slick ground. We continue heading down, down, down in elevation, where colors and life start to appear again. And then we round the corner and are blown away by the mountains ahead as we head down our final stretch to the village of Bingtong. Happy, hungry, and tired, we eat, rest, and enjoy for the rest of the day. And then, just like that, we're on our last day of hiking. We descend into the beautiful greenery as we make our way southwest along the Tsum Khola River. A stop in the colorful Soti Khola for a second breakfast. And down through several more villages below. And then we spot Darapani down below, where the Manaslu circuit connects to the Annapurna circuit and where the road starts again. Strange to think I was here just 2 years before when I was trekking on my own. Little did I know, 2 years later, I'd be living in Nepal and back on a trek, here with my Nepali boyfriend. We had planned to stay in Darapani for the night, but in a very quick turnaround, we managed to hop in the back of a jeep, and there we are, flying down the hill towards Besi Sahar.
Woo! Riding the jeep from where?
Darapani, huh?
Darapani
To Besi Sahar.
Besi Sahar.
Crazy ride!
That was your phone.
Crazy ride, baby.
Fun, crazy. Whoa. It's a long way down.
And for 4 long, bumpy, yet beautiful hours, we breathe in the fresh air and ride down into the sunset and back to civilization, leaving our many footsteps behind us in the mountains, and bringing with us memories of our amazing 12-day journey on the Manaslu Tsum Valley trek.